Have you ever wondered why some people can walk into a room and instantly connect with everyone, while others feel like they're standing on the outside of it all? Why some conversations seem effortless for others, but for you they feel heavy and complicated? What if I told you that the reason you sometimes struggle socially might actually be the same reason you notice more, feel more, and think more deeply than most people around you? Have you ever walked into a room full of people, heard laughter bouncing off the walls, seen conversations flowing and still felt like you were standing outside of it all, like you were present, but not really seen? If that's you, hear this clearly, there is nothing wrong with you. In a world that glorifies popularity, constant texting, packed weekends, and social media stories full of smiling faces, it's easy to believe that having only a few friends or none at all means you'll be failing at life. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if the very reasons you struggle socially are the same reasons that make you rare? Some people don't struggle with friendships because they're awkward or broken. They struggle because they see too much. They feel deeply, they refuse to settle for surface level connection. And that changes everything. Let us start with something most people want to admit. You can stand fake energy. You can feel it almost instantly: forced laughter, compliments that don't reach the eyes, subtle competition hidden in casual conversation, while others seem unbothered. Your mind quietly scans the room, noticing tone shifts and body language. It's exhausting, so instead of playing along, you withdraw. Not because you hate people, but because pretending drains you. You'd rather sit alone with your thoughts than perform a version of yourself just to belong. You don't crave attention. You crave authenticity. That's why your circle is small. Not because you can't connect, but because you refuse to connect at the cost of your integrity. Most people think having fewer friends means you're lonely, but psychology suggests something different. People who think deeply and feel emotions intensely often avoid large social circles, not because they can connect, but because they refuse shallow connections. Small talk doesn't satisfy you. How's the weather? What do you do? Conversations like these feel repetitive. You don't just want words, you want meaning. You want to talk about life, purpose, beliefs, and love. But most rooms aren't built for that. So you sit quietly, observing, waiting for depth that rarely comes. And when it doesn't, you leave feeling invisible, not because no one spoke to you, but because no one truly connected. You don't want a crowd. You want one person who feels like home. And until you find that, solitude feels safer than pretending. There's also the way your mind works. Hours after a conversation ends, you replay it. Did I say too much? Did I say too little? You analyze tone, pauses, and expressions. Your mind is simply very active. That awareness is powerful, but it can also be heavy. While others move on quickly, you carry the details with you, so you protect your energy. You choose quality over quantity because endless stimulation drains you. Some people call that antisocial. It's not, it's sensitivity. And sensitivity isn't weakness, it's depth. Maybe you've felt different your whole life. Your humor didn't always match the room. Your interests weren't the mainstream ones. When you grow up feeling out of sync with your environment, you either adapt constantly or retreat. Many people choose retreat, not because they lack confidence, but because constantly shrinking yourself to fit in feels like losing who you are. Another truth, you're more independent than people realize. You don't panic when your phone is quiet. You've learned how to sit with yourself and solve your own problems. From the outside it may look like loneliness, but inside, it's strength. Of course, independence often has a story behind it. Maybe you trusted someone who betrayed you. Maybe you opened up once and it was used against you. Rejection leaves marks, so your brain becomes protective. You observe more, you share less. You test people before letting them in. That's not bitterness, that's wisdom learned the hard way. There's also the energy factor. Social interaction can drain you. Even good conversations leave you tired because your mind processes emotions and expressions deeply. While some people gain energy from crowds, you lose it. Your social battery runs out faster, and when it does, you need silence. That doesn't mean you're cold. It means you recharge differently. And despite all this, there's something beautiful about you that often goes unnoticed. You have a rich inner world. Your mind is full of thoughts, ideas, memories, and questions. Yes, this can make friendships harder to form quickly. But when you meet someone who matches your depth, the connection becomes powerful and lasting. You don't build wide networks, you build deep bonds, and deep bonds take time. Society measures social success by numbers, followers, group chats, party invitations. But numbers don't measure meaning. Some of the most fulfilled people in the world have only one or two close friends. You are not behind, you are selective. You are not broken, you are intentional. Maybe the reason it takes you longer to find your people is because you're really not meant to connect with everyone. You're meant to connect with the few who truly see you, the ones who don't need you to perform, the ones who understand that your silence isn't emptiness, it's depth. So if you ever questioned yourself because your social life doesn't look like everyone else's, pause, look at your awareness, look at your emotional intelligence. These are not flaws, they are filters. They protect your peace, they protect your energy, and one day they will lead you to people who appreciate your depth. Until then, don't rush the process. Don't dilute yourself to fit spaces that feel wrong. Don't force laughter where there's no joy. You are allowed to wait. You are allowed to be careful. You are allowed to want something real, because struggling to make friends doesn't mean you lack value. Sometimes it simply means you value connection.